Talktainment Radio Worldwide South. Talktainmentradio.com. We give you a reason to come. The world's greatest radio. We give you a reason to stay. Radio, the way it should be heard. You got the power.
The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guest and not necessarily those of TalkTainmentRadio.com, the management, the staff, or K&E World Network, LLC.
Live call-in talk show. Dial 1-877-932-9766 and join the conversation here on TalkTainmentRadio.com.
Fue guay, Sete Rastaman.
TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go, the world's greatest radio. And you're in touch with Wiggins, World of Wellness. And this is Stacy Wiggins, and this is radio the way it should be heard. Man, I have a fantastic topic for you today, and actually this topic is going to probably extend to a 2, maybe 3-part series because it really helps, it encompasses all of my philosophies, my beliefs, the compliments that I've gotten, as well as the, success in my life that has occurred through conscious living, through focusing on certain things. In today's show, I want you to be aware and empowered by you too have the capabilities and abilities through conscious breathing, conscious living, to really raise your vitality, to raise your life, to raise yourself out of whatever condition, precondition you may have to a happy, healthy, and strong, vital livelihood. Whew, what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the magic power of breath. Actually, so much so that I've titled today's talk is Change Your Breath, Change Your Belief, and then certainly change your life. Because the breath, well, it is life. It's life itself. And today I have studied this man that I'm about to present. He's on YouTube. For several months now, and I've had actually some of my clients, hey Stacy, have you listened to this guy? This guy's name is WIL HOF, WILHOF, and I had to do a lot about breathing, and how this guy is really pushing the boundaries of human limitations of what we thought we could not do, or what we thought was maybe to a certain degree in our autonomic nervous system, and it's not our nervous system. So his story starts at age 17, and a story of mine starts at age 17. So before I bring him on, I'm going to kind of introduce you maybe the similarities of stories, and it had to do with cold. So it was after the end of a basketball game in high school. It was a home game, and at that time I was either 17 or 18 years old, probably a senior, graduating that year. And I don't remember whether we won or lost. That season wasn't too great. The one previous was. But I was sitting in front of the house, and it was pretty cold. And my girlfriend was drinking a beer, actually sipping it with a straw. And I was drinking a beer. And we were talking, and I knew I had to go inside pretty soon, and she had the car off, so there was no heat. And I found myself really becoming tight and tense and trying to drink a beer, and it's just like I just couldn't believe how cold I was. And I looked over at her, and she's like just enjoying the moment and kind of sipping on a beer, and we're listening to some kind of music, and I'm like, whoa, she's not dressed any warmer than I am, and I'm dressed pretty well, just played basketball. I'm freezing my butt off, and she's here having a great time. What's the difference? And then I just kind of let go. I took a deep breath in. I looked at the house, which is only like 60 steps or so away. It's like, Stacy, you're not going to freeze to death. Just relax, okay? And I did. And I noticed I let my toes go. And then within 30 seconds or so, my feet that were freezing previously started to warm up. And then I kind of started to enjoy the evening along with my girlfriend sitting there. And before I knew it, I wasn't cold any longer. And that really impacted me. It was like the first time that I noticed that through breathing, through some conscious mind training, you can change your reaction, your physiology to the cold, or 2, maybe the heat, or 2, pain. So this was the beginning of my story of going into a further detailed way of analyzing how does the body work. I always had a high curiosity of how does this beautiful thing that we are given, how does it work? It's just so filled with magic. It's like I wanted to understand it. Well, we are going to unlock some mysteries today. It's going to blow your mind away what we now know is capable, and it's within reach with every one of us. It's not for the special, not for the few, not for the athletic, not for the rich. It's if you're breathing, this is for you. If you're breathing and if you're thinking, this is definitely for you. So I want to introduce this, it's a YouTube video, and Joe Rogan, you may have known him from Fear Factor on TV. Also, he's done a whole lot of mixed martial arts. He's introduced a lot of the fighters, so he's been into that scene a lot. So Joe Rogan has been a person who I've kept an eye on and dropped in every once in a while, listened to his podcast, and up until hearing his podcast, I really didn't get enough information, or the interviews weren't that great. But there's a lot of information out there on Wim Hof and his breathing method, and I invite you to do like I did and do some research. But today I want to begin with his interview because it covers so well and so detailed that powerful method that he's introduced to our culture. So let's go to that.
And boom, we're live. You're here.
Thanks.
With a wolf t-shirt on, nonetheless.
Yes. Endurance,
Is that what it is?
Yeah, something. I bought it this morning. I thought it's of the Lakota Indians in the Venice Beach.
Venice Beach, Lakota Indians, they're probably not legit. They're
probably
from Pakistan or something.
Probably. But the symbol, it symbolizes endurance, but not, not physical endurance, though I did stuff, but more like believing.
You have a very fascinating life, my friend, and you have done some amazing things. I've been paying attention to you for the last couple months, pretty intensely, and leading up to this podcast, I've been researching you a lot. And first of all, I want to know, how did all this get started? For people who don't know who you are, you've accomplished a ton of world records. You've endured things that most people think may be physically impossible. You've proven they're possible. You've shown that you can alter your immune system on demand. You can regulate levels of stress hormones that people thought were unable to be controlled by the human mind, that we're autonomous, and you're doing this all like on your own. I've never heard of anybody else doing this. First of all, how did you get started in this, and what led you to this?
Yes, like many, probably, I was in a soul search, and I visited many countries, traditions, languages, esoteric disciplines, and also like karate and kung fu and yoga and. But also the Dervish, the Sufi, Buddhism, all kinds of traditions and disciplines. But it could not really fulfill me in the depth. A certain day, it was a Sunday, I was attracted to cold water. I don't know why. But because I was seeking already for years, you have a charge within you. You always keep on looking, searching, seeking, and at that moment I felt the attraction, and I knew I'm going to go in, ice water, and it only took me 30 seconds or 1 minute it took, but I felt this is it. This is able to connect me with the depth of my physiology, the way nature has meant it to be. So it felt too good. I felt connected.
This is not something you were drawn to before?
Not really. Yeah, per accident. I was more conscious at that moment. And from there, I began to do it every day. 17 years old I was then. That's about 38 years ago. And from there, I began to do it on daily, every day.
And this is in Holland?
This is in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, in the world, it's cold water. And water transmits the temperature like 25 times more than the air. So, but I returned the other day and the other day because I felt so good. I felt connected. And it's all about the connection within, which I was looking for, the depth, which I could not find in books. I read about hundreds of books on philosophy, on religion, on esoteric disciplines, all kinds of books, searching. But the answer is not in the head. The answer is in the body and the brain together. And cold water triggered this. And then from there out, the cold water, at a certain point, when you do it regularly, you become conscious your breathing pattern is going to change. Because you got to be more effective. You need more oxygen to withstand the impact of the cold. And that needs oxygen. It needs combustion in the cell. And feeling it, I was doing that. And I changed my breathing pattern. And when I changed my breathing pattern is when the magic began. Then I began to see, lights by manipulating the breathing differently.
Seeing lights? Like how so?
Yeah, they go, in the yoga, they call it the chakras. In China, they call it the ki, the chi, and so forth. And I found out that this was very possible in a very short period of time.
And this is nothing someone showed you how to do. This is something you figured out on your own.
The cold is my only master. The cold is my only teacher.
And the breathing, when you say you altered your breathing patterns, like what do you mean exactly?
Like when I went in at a certain point, I knew how to be, very relaxed going in. And then let the cold impact go within. And then begin breathing deeper. And then a certain dance between the cold and your breath begins to start up, begins to charge your body. And after 25 breaths like that, very conscious in the cold is a force and it has its impact. And you go along with the cold and what it does in the on the physiology, and you use your breathing. Now I know what happens physiological, but then, those days, it was all by feeling.
And after, what does happen physiologically?
You become fully charged. The carbon dioxide goes out. O2 begins to roam freely throughout the body and fills up every cell, and the pH levels go up.
Now, when you say you altered your breathing, what you're showing me here is just breathing in and breathing out. Like, what's specifically different about that than normal breathing?
The way I used it was like after 25 breaths, was so fully charged. I could stay like 5 to 7 minutes under the ice every time, very controlled. And that means that there is not only a whole lot of oxygen inside the body, but the pH levels go up. Now, later on, I began to understand by science, by thinking about it, and deducting and all that. I saw that we are able to tap into the brainstem, the adrenaline. We showed lying in bed people producing more adrenaline. Now I know how to show to people just in a couple of days. That means every listener right now is able to do that. So we have proven this scientifically. And it showed that people lying in bed were able to produce more adrenaline than somebody in fear going for its first bungee jump.
A bungee jump. But you're still, I'm still confused as to how you're doing anything differently other than deep breathing. You're taking a deep breathe in and a deep breathe out,
no, we retent from breathing after exhalation.
Retent?
We stop breathing after exhalation.
So
once
breathe in, like show me the method. Like
if you go with me now,
right,
30 times.
Okay.
Let go.
Okay.
Fully in. Once again, fully in. Letting go. Right on. Fully in. But letting go. Not fully out, just letting go. But fully in. Once again. And once again. Come on. Don't hesitate. Give it. It's about changing the chemistry right now in your body.
So I'm breathing in. Okay, keep going.
You become lightheaded, and at a certain point, you're so fully charged, and the pH levels go to a very high level, you're able to stay without air in the lung for minutes. Just keep on. The feeling is understanding. Go on. And deeply in. Letting go. Deeply in. Letting go. Deeply in. Letting go. 10 times more. Deeply in. Letting go. Deeply in. Letting go. I'm going to time it. Letting go. Deeply in. Letting go. Give it fully. Take him in. Letting go. Take him in. Letting go. Take him in. Letting go. No hesitation. I do this with over him as well. And he feels wonderful. Take him in. Fully letting go. Okay, 5 times more. Deeply in. Letting go. Deeply in. Letting go. Deeply in. Letting go. 2 times more. Letting go and stop. Just stop. Witness. Without air in the lungs, you are able to stay much more than normally. Why? Because we changed your chemistry. Carbon dioxide went out, O2 went up, filled up all the cells, and the pH levels go up. Then we are able to tap into the central nervous system, and at the end we got the brainstem. And that's the place of the pineal gland, hypothalamus, pituitary gland. And the pineal gland makes the secretion of adrenaline in dangerous situations. Normally we do not get into it because of our shallow breathing. But this is the way to get into the most primitive part, the reptilian brain, without many difficulties, and fend off bacteria, getting better into the endocrine systems. We'll talk about it later. You're past 110 in minutes, and you're still on. That shows that the capacity to fill yourself up with oxygen is a lot more than we normally use. And as we do not use it, we are not making a use of the full capacity of our physiology. Now we found out we got different layers, and we never use it. And this is the way to learn to use it, to tap in and bang into the primitive brain, into the endocrine systems, immune systems, the way nature has meant it to be. Everybody is able to do it. 145, and this is only round 1. If we would do like 3 rounds, you would go to 3 minutes, 4 minutes, without air, without training. It only shows the capacity to store up oxygen inside. We never use that. You're doing great. See, he's doing already 2.5, almost 2.10. Whenever you feel the urge to breathe, you don't need to force. It's only learning how to oxygenize the body and all the cells. You're going great, man. Nice one. Feels good, huh? Hey. Yeah, that's okay. 2:30. Yeah. When you feel the urge to breathe, you breathe in fully and keep it for 10, 15 seconds. Then that's 1 round. Fully in and keep it. And now you press your belly, the neck, and then the head. And now you are able to tap into the brainstem. And yeah, that's him. If we would do it again, you would, supplement.
I got very lightheaded. It was interesting.
Of course,
in the breathing in
sure,
part.
Sure.
So to explain to people at home, what I'm doing is I'm breathing in all the way as deeply as I can, but I'm not breathing out all the way.
Yeah.
I'm just breathing out a little bit. And then I'm breathing in more, and I'm just breathing out a little bit. And I'm breathing in more, and I'm breathing out a little bit.
Yes. If you breathe in completely, you get all the oxygen possible inside. If you just let it go, then you get it to where the exchange of the gases happen. And this is the way best to oxygenize the body. So it's a different way to get into the chemistry of the body, and we have shown this.
That's one of the fascinating things. If people are listening to this, go, this guy's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely. You're definitely crazy.
Crazy about life
way,
and my wife.
In a beautiful way. In a beautiful way.
I know.
What you've done is you've allowed scientists to test you every step of the way, and you've proven that all this is true. When we're saying these things, I mean, these are things that have been studied at universities. What was the university in Holland?
Radboud University.
Radboud. And they injected you with an endotoxin?
Endotoxin, yes.
To prove that you can auto-regulate your immune system.
Exactly. Normally it is it's a controlled experiment, and they did it with thousands of people already, and nobody was able to control to the depth of the immune system, because the endotoxin provokes a response in the immune system. You become feverish, you get headaches, all over agony, uncontrolled shivering, vomiting, things like that happen. But the people I trained, first I did it myself, and then they said, yeah, but you are the Iceman, you are an exception on the rule, you confirm the rule because of this. No, I said anybody can do this.
Why would they say that you confirm the rule? If they have a rule and one person can do something different, then the rule doesn't work. It's not a rule anymore.
It is. That's absolutely true between us. But in science, it only works. It's only validated if it is a group who is doing it.
Right, but how many in the group are doing your method? That's the thing. When they test normal people on things, the amount of people that are doing what you're doing and trying these kind of experiments and going under ice and breathing the way you're breathing, it's almost none. Worldwide. I mean, I'm sure more people now are inspired to do it because of you. But so I don't understand how they could say that you confirm the rule because you don't adhere, it doesn't apply to you.
Yeah, that's a saying, the exception confirms the rule. That's a Dutch saying. So I told her, yes, I'm the Iceman. I got so much experience. I did so many challenges and records. But no, my mission is to show that everybody is able to tap in their physiology a lot deeper just in a couple of days. And it has been shown, 12 people in a comparative study, 12 people been instructed and 12 people non-instructed. The non-instructed people got to be sick, all of them, and the instructed people, all of them were not sick.
Now, this endotoxin, what exactly is the endotoxin?
The endotoxin is a part of a bacteria. And the immune system recognizes it as a negative intruder. So that's why it is a controlled experiment. And this is the way they inject it. Mm-hmm. And they try to learn about the immune system, the endocrine systems, by doing this controlled experiments on many, many people all over in the world.
Now, prior to doing this, what made you think that you could do this? Like, what convinced you that you could actually regulate your immune system to react to a response that was injected into your body like that?
Yeah, now you're talking to. Now we begin to talk. Like 25 years ago, I already stated and told everybody the autonomic nervous system and the immune systems related to the autonomic nervous system can be influenced. The autonomic nervous system will be no longer autonomic. And it is what I told. Many people mocked me because of it. And they told me negatively that I was crazy and all that.
So 25 years ago, you were in your 20s then?
Yeah, no. 30s.
Okay. How old are you now?
56.
Okay.
56. But then I told it then. And now it's scientifically proven. Yeah, it's a why because I inside I know.
So you're this 31-year-old guy, and you have this idea in your head that you can control your immune system.
Yes.
Like what gave you this thought that you could do this?
In the beginning, when I was 17 years old, as the story began, I went into the cold, and it just felt good. I felt connection. After years of searching, then you have a certain kind of knowledge, from the inside also, the gut feeling and intuition, and that's more than what we think.
And this is not a reaction to how your body felt when you got out of the water, like you're saying, I feel like I get less sick, I feel like I'm healthier. This is just, it was that too.
Yes.
But it was also, you felt internally that you were controlling it, like you could feel it?
Yes. Oh, yeah, you get a real sense. Listen, you are a fighter, for example. You got an opponent. But this time, the opponent is yourself. And you know it from the inside. And you feel it from the inside. And it makes you happy, it makes you strong, and it makes you healthy. And this is what we have lost from nature. And now it's back.
So in a sense, what you've done is you tapped into something extremely primal by dealing with one of the most primal elements of all,
exactly.
which is cold.
Yes.
So the cold, like in the Vice documentary, I thought it was really fascinating. You said cold is your god.
Yes, it is. Yeah. If I had a teacher, I've never had a teacher.
That's amazing.
And no guru or mentor or saifu or anything like that. The cold. That's my teacher. That's my God.
I've been dodging the cold since I was a little kid. It's amazing. You felt compelled to jump into that.
Yes. Absolutely.
And what was, when you're saying this to people, when you're 31 years old and you're telling people, I can control my immune system, they must have been like, you're out of your fucking mind. Look at this guy. He's jumping in the freezing water and he says he can control his immune system. How did you convince people to the point that you got actual scientists to measure your blood, do legitimate scientific studies on you? Like, what was it, your accomplishments? Like, you went, for people who don't know, you did a bunch of really unbelievable tasks. You climbed Everest in your shorts. Did you have shoes on when you climbed Everest?
Yes, I had to, with spikes.
Spikes, because you're climbing on ice.
Slippery.
Right.
And I run marathons. No shirt on.
That's
just
insane.
in shorts. I think going by clothes is insane, because it's like you're not challenging nature. You can go up with a car as well, and then you go up Everest.
Right.
Anything artificial you use in nature doesn't make you having the right connection with nature. And what I wanted to challenge in all the challenges I did, like marathons beyond the polar circle in midwinter in shorts, but also in the heat of the desert without drinking, or hanging by one finger on a 1.5 kilometer, or like a mile up in the air.
What?
In wintertime.
You hung up by one finger a mile up in the air?
Yes, yes.
Where was this?
And also in Holland, between two hot air balloons, and then climbing between them. And then there was a thing, a device I could
You just
hang.
hooked it on with one finger?
Yes.
How long did you hang there for?
25 seconds.
Jesus Christ.
25 seconds. And
with one finger?
And in wintertime.
Oh, my God.
In wintertime. You lose control when the blood becomes colder in the hands.
Yeah.
You lose control. So that was the challenge. It's mind over matter. And I wanted to show that in all the challenges, the adaptive power of ours is enormous. But as we are not stimulating or using that anymore, you get a neglected body and become sick or half in its potency. It's all very logic.
So the powers that our body has, the untapped powers that we probably had for millennia, dealing with the cold, dealing with the heat, dealing with adversity, dealing with struggle, all those powers are not being tapped into. So because of that, the body just atrophies, and it doesn't know what to do with itself.
Exactly.
You think that may be also a cause?
Boy, when it says you have the power, in the beginning of our program, you have the power. Well, this is scientifically evidenced that you have the power here on TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. Check us out on 94.1 WGRN. Podcasts are available. Download TalkTainmentRadio.com app to your cell or tablet. That's radio the way it should be heard. Stay right there. More up of this amazing interview and the understanding of getting the power. Up next on TalkTainmentRadio.com.
Are you ready to earn a certification in healthcare, business, or manufacturing while achieving your high school diploma? Then you're ready for Life Skills High School, a free public school option for Ohio students 16 to 21 years old. Learn more about your free high school educational options at lifeskillshs.org.
Pastor Clifford Riley and the congregation at Mount Gerizim Missionary Baptist Church cordially invite you to worship with us. Yes, come to the Mountain of Blessings for a spirited, love-filled experience. Our Sunday services and twice on Wednesday Bible study will change your life. We are located at 2633 Mock Road, and our phone number is 614-475-9712. Again, 2633 Mock Road, or call 614-475-9712.
Stand by for an important announcement. Mortgage interest rates are the lowest in history. Did you hear that? Mortgage interest rates are the lowest in history. You can buy a home from Lenco Realty for less than rent. For details, call 614-375-2BUY. That's 614-375-2289, or log on to repohomelist.com. That's repohomelist.com and claim your American dream.
Queen's Legacy of Love 12 brand launch and grand opening. Currently looking for hosts, photographers, models, dancers, entertainers, ushers, comedians, production managers, model coordinators, stage crew, vendors, volunteers, sponsors, public relations and media personnel, and extras. Contact GGoldQQueen22@yahoo.com. Queens of Queens.
For the best home fragrance and beauty products, shop Ash Kickin online.
That's ASHKICKIN.
Made with 100% natural quality ingredients and handcrafted with your family in mind, Ash Kickin products are better than those other guys. Ash Kickin candles, incense, body butter, face moisturizer, and hair moisturizer are priced just right, and you can get yours at 10% off with coupon code TALK17. Support this 100% black-owned business and get your home and body smelling and feeling all right.
That's ASHKICKIN.
Shop Ash Kickin online at www.ashkickin.com.
This is Al Edmondson, owner of a Cutter Brother Rest Barbershop. I'm calling on all barbers and beauticians. It's time for us to unite as one. We can serve our communities better together. Join the Ohio Black Barber Beauty Network. For more information, visit www.obbn.org or call 614-427-3226 to get more information. Be the change that you want to see in your community. Join our network.
If you or someone you know is abusing drugs and or alcohol and want to stop the abuse, contact APDS at 1409 East Livingston Avenue. Office hours are 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily and 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. APDS is certified by the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services and primarily funded through the Adam H. Board. Fees are based on your income and Medicaid is always accepted. For more information, call 614-253-4448.
See that cute little dog in the pet store? Chances are it came from a puppy mill, a breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppies to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. But with one simple choice, you can help, just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
Think fast. In less than 30 seconds, a small flame can become a big fire. Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and keep heaters 3 feet away from anything that can burn. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
I've got the water, energy bars, and camera. I think we're set for the hike.
Almost. We need to protect our skin. Don't forget your wide-brimmed hat and sunscreen.
All right. I've got the hat. I've got SPF 30. Will that work?
Yeah, anything 15 or higher is good. Just make sure it says broad spectrum.
Great. Got it. I am not getting burned again. Let's go.
Learn more at cdc.gov/cancer.
Every year, June marks the beginning of two busy seasons, summer and wedding season. If you are legally changing your name, you need to apply for a replacement Social Security card reflecting your new name. This is easier to fix now when you first change your name than years from now when you retire. So go to our website at www.socialsecurity.gov/SS number or call us at 1-800-772-1213, TTY 1-800-325-0778 to find out what specific documents you need to change your name and apply for a replacement card.
Live call-in talk show. Dial 1-877-932-9766 and join the conversation here on TalkTamitRadio.com.
TalkTamitRadio.com. We go where you go. Download the TalkTamitRadio.com app to your cell or tablet. It's radio the way it should be heard. This is Stacey Wiggins with Wiggins World of Wellness. We're going to continue on with this interview here in just a second with Wim Hof, but I want to bring to your attention that this man has been so impressive that scientifically backed, he's scientifically legit on the claims that he's making. He actually has impacted our society to such a degree that medical textbooks now have a chapter about what he does, about his capabilities. So he's taking our own personal health and what we thought and believed to be that was inobtainable, he is blowing up those old belief systems. So you have to develop this understanding of, wow, I do have the capacity, I do have the power to self-heal. I do have this, and it's available. It's so closely available. What else did I want to break out of it? Hardiness. Cold makes you hardy. One of the reasons why chaga, especially the chaga that I get from Alaska, is just off the charts, fantastic, great, is because it's in a very, very cold atmosphere. So its hardiness makes it even more nutrient dense, more impactful. So when you drink from this chaga plant, oh my God, it's amazing. But back to being cold and back to the interview here.
If you're a guy.
And you may recall that I was sitting down at age 17 in a car, freezing my butt off, or thinking so, but really letting loose and letting go and relaxing in the cold. And I find it odd that we're both the same age and kind of had the same beginnings, but he has taken it far, far beyond what a little bit that I experienced.
In our study, and most probably our method, what we just did, brings the people very much faster into controlling their endocrine system. The endocrine system is about hormonal balances in the body, and because we are not able to tap into that, we are victimized because of too much stress or this or the daily life or whatever, and we get depressed and we are not able to get out of it. Now, this method, because of tapping into the endocrine systems, makes you feel you are able to rebalance the hormonal disturbance in the body, creating eventually in length the depression. So I want research on this, because this is, my wife died in '95 because of suicide. I had 4 children with her. I was powerless then. My heart was broken and had no money, no nothing. And then this struggle and this fight began. I'm going to prove this to the world and create a shortcut for anybody who is depressed or sick and everything. And now we got the key. We got the key to the endocrine systems and the immune systems. And anybody can do this. And because it is done by science, it's beyond speculation. We make it a choice. And that's why I'm on a mission. And this mission brings me here to Joe Rogan, who's a good guy. He's a fighter himself. And he loves life, and he brings it out. And he tries people out. I can tell. And
try people out?
Yeah, try people. Who are you? What are you doing?
Yes.
And things like that. It's I like it. I love it. And we need to do this because we got to change this world where there is no control. I mean, we can fly to the moon. We can make, this is more intelligence than the whole Apollo 13 project. Yes? We can, this is the fruit of our mind. And the power of our mind is enormous. But now it is time to use the same power to learn to control our happiness, strength, and health. And we have shown this now.
So you feel like what happened with your wife, that your wife killed herself, was due to depression, and you feel like that type of depression, the depression that a lot of people experience, is because their mind is not stimulated the way it was intended to by nature. Is that a fair way of describing your thoughts on this?
Absolutely.
And that we're left with a residual effect of civilization in a way, where your mind it's overwhelmed with things that really are not natural, like living in a cubicle, the stress of office life, traffic, things that aren't natural.
Exactly. We are living toward the system, but it should be going around.
Right.
The system, once again, should serve our happiness, strength, and health. And now we have proof that we are able to tap into the endocrine systems and the immune system far deeper. So we got to try this, and it is natural. Anybody can do this in just a couple of days. Right now we are in the 3rd year of the university books here in America. The testing the Iceman. It's not about me anymore. It's about the comparative study. And then it tells the endocrine systems and the immune systems. And it only takes one guy, is endurance. Belief that we are able to tap in deeper into our physiology, thus enabling the person to direct his hormonal secretions. Strength, for example, lying in bed, as we told already, lying in bed. There's no rhinoceros coming to that guy. No, he's at ease. And he controls completely the stress hormone. And the controlled stress hormone works like medicine. A non-controlled stress hormone works in the end acidic. And that becomes no good. And we are victimized because we have no control in daily life anymore. But the stress is there.
So the stress is there, but there's no physical exertion.
Yes.
And that's why they've shown in tests that in many cases, exercise can be just as good as antidepressants, just as good as medication for people who are depressed, which totally makes sense if what you're saying is right. It totally makes sense that your body has a desire to exert itself, and it has a built-in system that's designed to deal with certain natural stresses, running from predators, dealing with the cold, and dealing with weather and climate and nature and the adversities of the environment, as far as challenging yourself, climbing hills and exerting yourself. We don't do that much, and because of that, that's what you think leads to this dis-ease of the brain.
Yes, and for many people who are depressed, they are quite unable to get into their body and begin to run and things like that. It's the brain, and we are going to solve this by very easy techniques. Instead of them having to run because their environment is really pressing upon them, they feel completely immobilized. But if you are able to tap into the brain and let him feel the change, that he is changing the chemistry of the brain, then he becomes a different person much faster. So, I'm subject to science, and I want more research on this, and soon we have the outcomes, and then we will tackle this problem with depression, because it's related to the endocrine systems and having no connection with it. Normally the hypothalamus in our primitive brain the brain stem is not under our control. But these breathing techniques deriving from being in the cold so much, they are very effective, not only in the cold, which is stress, but also in the heat. Also for a predator. Also on Mount Everest, where there is a lack of oxygen outside. And also for daily stress.
Now, what was the first one of these experiments that you tried to do to try to show the effectiveness of your methods?
I was at the physiological department in the same university, different department, and that's the cold physiological department. And I stood there for 80 minutes in a tank full of ice for 80 minutes, fully connected to wires. Blood was taken.
So you're just covered in ice?
Covered in ice.
I've seen the pictures of it. It looks insane.
Except for this arm, because the blood was taken away from it. And you know what they saw? And I was talking to these people. To these professors who were, everything was, because I was very much in control. And they saw the core temperature even rising while I was inside.
Your core temperature was rising while you're covered in ice for 80 minutes?
Yes. And you see how much power we have. How much power cold can be. But how much more power we are able to learn to control. And that the blood taken from me while I was in the tank, I got a few remarkable results. One is the blood taken, it was exposed to endotoxin afterwards, but in a laboratory, without me, ex vivo it's called. And they saw, normally it has a very violent reaction on the immune cells in the glass of the laboratory. And this time 0%, 100% suppression. And that's my blood.
100%.
100%.
So the endotoxin just gets squashed the moment it gets in there.
And that's the bacteria.
Yeah.
And that's the immune system. And that's the way we are actually built to be able to. And that was one thing. Another remarkable thing. Before I was going into the tank, they took blood from me as well. And this blood was looked upon into it by a microscope, and they saw 300% more metabolic activity in the cell without moving. That's the mind. My mind was already into, I go inside that one, in that box. I need to do 80 minutes. I program my on up till cell level what I'm about to do. I need more energy because energy is needed to withstand the impact of the cold. So I control my body by my mind. And that's all of us. And this mind then makes the connection with the hypothalamus, which is the brainstem. And that is able to control the hormonal system, the immune systems, the vascular system, all the systems.
Now, when you say that your metabolic rate rose 300%, is that a normal thing because of the cold? Because that's one thing that they tell you, that it's a great way to lose calories. Just dress very lightly when it's cold outside.
Yes.
And it forces your body to work hard to stay warm. So it was an effect of that?
Yeah, it was. It was, and that's also a thing about the brown fat adipose. We got all these cells, but as we never exposed to cold anymore, it doesn't. It's not stimulated. It's like a muscle. You not train. It becomes weaker. So we got also these cells which needs stimulation. I did experiments with the brown fat adipose in the nuclear. Department of Nuclear Medical Department in Maastricht, a different university. And it showed that I had the same brown fat adipose levels as a young man, like 20 years, 15 years. They still have it. Well, you get older and you wear clothes and you lose it. That's logical, but I always expose myself to cold on a regular basis. So they had me exposed as well to in an experiment like that. And they saw that with the same level of or amount of brown fat adipose cells, I could produce 5 times more energy. That's what they saw. So compared to these guys, because of the breathing and influencing into on cell level, I was able to do 5 times more. And this could be a solution for people who have overweight, because when the fat is consumed, which is very in the moment when you need it, then it gets depleted. Then the rest of the white fat in the body is being withdrawn very systematically, very effectively, direct. And like 5 times more effective is maybe a solution for many people living in the West with, obese problems and heart problems, because vascular problems because of it, etc.
There's a type of therapy that's becoming really popular here in America called cryotherapy. A lot of athletes use it, and I started using it a few years ago. A lot of people from jiu-jitsu were telling me about this thing. You go, you stay in this, it's a box, it's 250 degrees below zero, and you do 3 minutes in it.
Yeah.
I do it 4 days a week now. It's amazing.
It's nice. Huh?
It's amazing. I get out of there, I feel so great. And I had my friend, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, who's a scientist, and she explained all what's happening inside of it. And then I took her to the chamber and had her stand in the cryo chamber, and she said it was incredible when she got out of it. She was a scientist. She understands the body very well, so she knew that it was raising her levels of norepinephrine, and her whole body was being stimulated by this reaction to this extreme 250 degree below zero cold.
Yes, I did it too, and
have you done the one where you get inside of it fully, or the one that's just from the neck below?
Fully and up till the neck a couple of times, and I could stay quite long inside.
I bet you could stay in there forever. How long could you go in there for?
I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or something, but still feeling okay.
I do 3 minutes.
3 minutes is
okay.
I do
3 minutes and 30 seconds, and I do it more than anybody in the whole place. I can't believe you could do 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's a thing with nature.
Just keep going and keep going, and then you just push your boundaries.
That's it. But it is not necessary to re-establish the right natural connection between your brain and your endocrine systems and immune systems. Just a little bit of cold is enough to trigger the vascular system the right way, enabling it to work better with the nervous system, and then the breathing and focus, your mind. Like the mind was able, without moving, to produce 300% more metabolic activity in the cell. That is mind. The mind is so much able to do so much more. And this is the quintessence. This is the essence of what I come to tell you. We gotta change our belief. We gotta change the way we think. It's like a paradigm shift. And why? Because we have proven with thousands and thousands of results beyond speculation that we are able, if we use our mind once again, not in dependency for doctors and this and that and that. No, you are able to repair yourself whenever you feel not healthy or depressed or with a loss of energy, strength, happiness, and health. Then you should go in and breathe better. And then you will reestablish the connection with the endocrine systems, immune systems, and the brain together, and then repair whatever is producing an obstacle for you to function in the world. Maybe you are able to function in the world, but you don't feel good. You don't feel happy, and you don't feel strong.
So say if a person had a cold, a slight cold, what would you recommend they do?
I would say breathing once.
Breathing your method. Your
yes.
method. Breathe in fully, as hard and deep as you can, and then just exhale a little bit. And then breathe in as far as your lungs can stretch. And how many times?
Like 20 times.
20 times.
Then take them in and then go to the place, to the spot where you feel the cold is happening. Could be in the throat, could be here, could be, somewhere in this part.
So go in your mind to that spot.
You know what happens when I'm in the ice for an hour, for example? Most of the times I begin to feel it, the cold, at the part of the kidneys, which is mostly on the surface, and the cold gets there, the ice. Then I ain't got there is no way I'm able to move because it's like 600-700 kilos of ice around me, and I'm not able even to breathe very much because it's pressurizing. What I learned is to think it away within a minute. Within a minute, I make the difference from the brain to the kidneys and change the temperature like 10 degrees.
This is a measurable thing? You've changed a measurable 10 degrees?
Dr. Ken Kamler, who did experiments with me. I did records here in New York and Florida. I don't know, a couple of places. And while I was in the show, for example, Regis and Kelly show. You know the guys?
Right.
And he saw my core temperature was dropped to 32 degrees Celsius. I don't know, but it's far lower.
It's very low.
People are normally not able to raise the temperatures anymore. They just go into unconsciousness and coma and things like that. But I rose the temperature back, and he said he had never had seen a person do that because physiologically stated in the science books, it's not possible. And I say, so much more is possible than not only connecting with your core temperature, but also with the endocrine systems.
No, when you say you were raising your temperature, what was the environment that you were raising your temperature in? Where you were in the water while this was happening?
Yes, in the tank.
So
you're
in the tank, freezing cold, and you raised your temperature from there.
Yes.
That's amazing.
No, what we are able to do, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
Life is amazing.
Life's pretty amazing.
Living is a wonder, and we have to re-experience that. And that's the paradigm shift. We are able to learn to control. It needs some steady attention. Like a baby needs attention to grow up, we need to pay attention to ourselves again, trust ourselves again, believe. Believing is neurotransmitters in the right way. And when it connects with the body again, and we got the techniques, and it has been shown with thousands of results that we are able to control.
Boy, oh boy. It's all about believing. It always has been. Believing. So now you have before you a new paradigm shift that your beliefs are going to have to shift. And in fact, that you can heal yourself and you're quite capable. It's funny. We've strived to be comfortable in our lives. We, wanted the room at 70, 72 degrees. We didn't want to have anything to get us out of, our comfort zone. And now that you look at it, it's our very comforts that may very well be killing us. Our striving for always being comfortable. That's why exercise is so efficient. It gets you out of that comfort zone. Getting cold, breathing, these techniques are wonderful. I tell you what, I'm excited for you and me for the second part, which will be next time here on TalkTainmentRadio.com, the world's greatest radio. That's radio the way it should be heard.
The world's greatest radio. TalkTainmentRadio.com.
the truth, and the life. If we don't